Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports, where we weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared, and in this video, we're going to be doing our pregame for the Sunday night football matchup that's going on tonight at M&T Bank Stadium. A game that we will be attending. Patriots versus Ravens. The Ravens win, we keep our chances of winning the AFC North. If the Patriots win, they officially clinch the AFC East and get their spot in the playoffs. So it's a very important game.
I don't think they
You know,
clinched
a
the
very
AFC
important.
East. I think they just win. They get clinch the playoff first.
They just clinched. Okay, well, still a very important game for us. We're trying to keep up with the Steelers. They play the Lions today, so we'll be Ravens and Lions fans today. So hopefully they can get the job done. And yeah, let's just get into it. I'll start with just the defense. I feel like again, this is another test for the defense. Drake May, an MVP candidate. He's been having a good year, but against a lot of, let's just be honest, mid-level teams. And it's hard to really judge how good the Patriots are because, they did beat the Bills earlier on in the season, but they also just blew a lead against them. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of Ravens we get tonight. Are we going to get the Ravens that sort of play up to their competition, or are we going to get the Ravens that play like the mid teams that the Patriots have been playing all year and have been beating? I hope it's the first one, but we'll see. But I think Mike Green has to have another dominating performance tonight. I think it's going to be very important for him and Draymond Jones to really rush Drake May, get him uncomfortable, and just make it difficult, for him to get the ball to guys like Stephon Diggs and Pop Douglas. You know, I'm really having a hard time naming their receivers. I don't know too much of them. I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but I only know Stephon Diggs and Pop Douglas and um Kayshon Boutte, whatever his name is. So yeah, and Hunter Henry and they have tight ends like that. But I think the
Aaron
defense is
Henderson.
really going to get pressure.
hmm Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, if you're segueing into my thoughts about it,
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I mean I think that's a key for any quarterback personally, but especially young quarterbacks. He's only in his second year. Like you had mentioned, he's been playing some pretty, below average competition this year. His best win is the Bills. I mean, he did beat the Bucks, as well. That's a pretty, but they're kind of on a downward slope. I don't know what's going on with the Bucks at all. But I think that's like their best win. Their two best wins is the Buccaneers and Bills, and Trayvon Henderson ate in the Buccaneers game if I remember correctly. So
Oh
um,
yeah,
you know, it's going to be important for the defense and also, play over top. I could imagine today there's going to be a lot of off-ball defense, just because they're going to be probably scared of the big play. So be prepared to see Drake May, dink and dunk down the field, today. But it's going to be important to see what the Ravens do in the red zone today. When me and you last went to a game, I think it was versus the Lions. Well, it was versus the Rams, but versus the Lions, the Ravens in the red zone. I felt like the Lions when they were in the red zone, it was a guaranteed touchdown. They weren't holding them to nothing. So if the Ravens are going to bend today, they better not break. And it's going to be important to, like you said, get pressure because if we can get Drake May into making mistakes, he doesn't make a lot of them, but he only has like 7 picks on the year. But if we can get him to get uncomfortable and make mistakes, it should be a good day for our defense. We made Burrow make mistakes last week. I could very much see the game going very similar to how it did last week, defensively. I don't think that we'll shut the Patriots out personally. But it's also going to be important for our guys up front to really, dominate, like Travis Jones and, John Jenkins if he's playing, Brett Urban if he's playing, Aeneas Peebles if he's playing. I know we elevated two guys like Josh Talopu, whatever his name is.
Spo.
He's been playing pretty piss poor for the Ravens so far, but having a big body there, I mean, you got to stop. Trayvon Henderson today. That's going to be the biggest thing. Because if we can't stop him, running game opens up everything. So we need to
Yeah,
contain Trayvon Henderson today. So Draymond Jones, KVN, Mike Green, David Ajabo, unfortunately, those four guys, they're gonna have to contain the edges. So, and then once you contain the edges, you got to meet Travis Jones, and that's not a good meeting you want to be in.
yeah. And we already know how Mike Vrabel likes to run his offense. It's very run heavy.
Yeah,
We
ground and
got
pound.
yeah, we caught the wrong hand of that against the Titans a couple years ago, but I think this is a good game. Like how you were saying, stop Trayvon Henderson They also got Ramondre Stevenson, so they have a good, 1-2 punch duo at the
Yeah.
running back position. So it's going to be a very physical game. It really is.
And yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to mention that, it's going to be important for Trenton Simpson to step up tonight.
Yeah,
He has not had his chance to really be linebacker two on this team this year. He got take those snaps taken by Teddy Buchanan, but Teddy Buchanan's out, so it's going to be big for Trent Simpson. A lot of his issues last year were, it seemed like he had a lack of confidence. He didn't seem to know what, gap to fill, where what rush lane to go through. He needs to be confident tonight. Trust in your abilities. You're athletic. You're fast. You're physical. You can hit hard. Trust yourself tonight. Fill the right lanes, and you'll have a good night tonight. So
yeah,
his job is just as important as Roquan's tonight in stopping the run. I mean, as Travis Jones and company in stopping the run. And hopefully we see Cahan at the line of scrimmage. Maybe hopefully we see our Darius Washington out there a little bit more. But
yeah.
you need to stop the run tonight, or you're gonna have a long night like he did versus the Lions.
Yeah, and just one more thing on the defense, and I'll get to the offense. I want to see how we play, Diggs. I feel like just his veteran savviness and his route running abilities, that could be, trouble for a guy like Marlowe, who's kind of been struggling this year in his man-to-man coverage, so I want to see, what kind of looks we're going to give him, what kind of guys we're going to have on him. I know we're pretty thin at cornerback, so it's just going to be, an interesting matchup that I really am excited to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so going on to the offense, we talked about this last video, how we always start off slow. I think it would be nice not to do that. At least let's get some sort of, fluidity, just to start the drive, running the ball with Derrick Henry. I feel like if we really get him going in this game, that will separate ourselves from them from the jump. Like kind of similar to how we beat the Bills last year. First play of the game on offense, Derrick Henry takes it 87 yards. I feel like we need to get to that. I feel like this could be a game where Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell win us just win us, win us
Yeah,
the game. And I think the offensive line right now, I know I said this last week, right now, they need to start playing physical. They need to start playing confident.
yeah,
Fa Lele, it's clear we're not going to change him. You said Emory Jones Jr., he's not going to start. The offensive line isn't going to change. They need to start playing more confident and more smart
yeah,
and more and I can't say faster because you can't really change a person's speed, at least not that easily, but just play smarter. And I mean, if you look on tape, he's getting beat by the simplest of moves, it seems like, or he's just not paying attention to his assignment, and that blows up the whole run play. I just feel like if you can at least be fundamentally sound for 85% of the game, that's enough for us to get the ground game, going enough where we can win. And that's all it takes. Just get that ground game going, play action passes. Maybe you get Zay deep down the field. You get Bateman. I think he is playing this game across the middle of the field. D Hop, hopefully. I don't want to see Tylen Wallace out there. Those are the three receivers you need to have when you want to do those play action passes, those short passes, screen passes. Hopefully not a screen pass too much, but those are the players you want to see out there for those type of plays. But I feel like it all starts with the run game in the trenches. It's very important, for us to establish that in this game.
yeah. It's kind of the vice versa of, when I was talking about the defense. We need to get Derrick Henry going tonight. Derrick Henry. Well, I'll be honest. With these guys, it's a lot of business decisions later in the season when it comes to tackling Derrick Henry. It's gonna be cold tonight. It's gonna be 20 degrees. It's gonna be windy. So I can imagine that there's gonna be guys that aren't gonna want to tackle him, especially cornerbacks. So offensive line, if you could do anything that you can, even if it means tripping somebody by accident, like get Derrick Henry to the second level, man. Once Derrick Henry's in the second level, safeties and cornerbacks are going to meet him, and that's never a good day for those guys. So those hits add up. Even if you don't score on the first drive, flip field position to the point where maybe you get to like the 40 and you wind up having to punt. Jordan Stout needs to have a good night too, where it's like punting them at the two, punting them at the one, like flip field position. It feels like a lot of these Ravens games, they start out three and out. And then the opposing
Yep.
team, gets the ball at the 35 or the 40. You're already cutting all that field almost in half. Like the field position battle is just as important as actually scoring points. And if you're not scoring points, put them in bad field position. And for the Gunners, Come on, guys. Like I feel like a lot of these gunners for our team, are like, why is Charlie Kohler and David Ojabo like our best gunners on the team? Like, like there should be other guys in this team that are willing to hit on special teams. Special teams is I have something I've kind of been not talking about, this year, but a lot of these punt coverage and kick return coverage have been crappy this year. Like guys,
Yeah.
like these special teams can lose you a game just as much as the offense and defense can. So the field position battle is going to be huge because if we can put them in shitty spots, the crowd's going to be loud. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. Put them in shitty spots if you do not score. But preferably, I want the offense to score on every drive, but that's just not going to happen. So start quick, like maybe do something short. Zay screens or Keith Mitchell screen or something like that misdirection where everyone's going this way, but then you flip the ball over to Henry or Mitchell that way, and he runs for a few yards. We've run that twice this year, and it's both gone for big gains. It's gone for a touchdown. It's gone for a big gain for Henry. Now, Vrabel's a good coach, so I would imagine he's watched film, on that. So like to have maybe an extra guy out there just in case, that happens. But I want to see these misdirection plays as well. Kind of full defense. You know, for the offense, I mean, I don't know, man. They're so confusing. Like they have so much talent, but they're not performing to their standards. They got better last week. Hold on to the damn ball, please. We don't have time for this turnover shit. Drop passes and interceptions. Getting stripped or whatever. Hold on to the damn ball, please. Hopefully they preach ball security this week. That ball is gonna be hard as a rock. So tonight. So please hold on to the damn ball.
Yeah, and I'm talking to you, Zay, especially, and
Yeah, don't dive in the end zone.
yeah, you don't do that or don't, catch a ball and bobble it and make it into an interception or like just how you said, fumble it. So
Yeah.
ball security is very important tonight too.
Yep. Yeah, don't give away
So
possessions. They can't give away, especially
yeah,
on prime time. You can't give away possessions.
yeah,
Anyways, want to get into these stats?
let's go.
All right. Before we get into these stats, whenever my screen shares, there we go. We will be talking about the injury report. Patriots. Get that away. Patriots injury report. Robert Spillane has an ankle injury. He did not participate in practice all week. He's out for the game. Christian Barmore has a knee injury. He did not practice on Friday. He was limited on Wednesday. He's questionable for the game. Carlton Davis III has a hip injury. He's questionable for the game. Marcus Jones is questionable for the game as well. Harold Landry is questionable for the game. And Christian Elise has an illness. He'll be good for the game though. I think there's a flu going around with these NFL teams.
Yep.
But the Ravens laundry report or a grocery a list of injuries here. Teddy Buchanan obviously will not be playing in this game. He'll be put on injured reserve, I believe. He's out for this game. Jay Higgins the fourth is designated to return from the IR, but he will be out, so he may not be playing. I mean, he may not be playing. He probably will be playing one of these next 2 weeks. Goddamn, I can't talk. Chidobe Awuzie has that foot injury. He is doubtful for the game on Sunday or today. So that's really unfortunate for us. Kyle Hamilton popped up on the injury report with an ankle injury. He's questionable to go for this game on Sunday. John Jenkins has an illness. He's questionable to go on Sunday as well. Ronnie Stanley with his ankle and knee injury. He's questionable to go on Sunday. Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Keandre Jackson, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Linderbaum, CJ Okoye, Roquan Smith, Kyle Van Noy all were on the injury report this week, but they are good to go for this game. So Rashad Bateman is back for this week. What is it? Week 15? 16?
I think 16.
16? Okay. Week 16 matchup. To get into the stats now, the team stats, the Patriots offense here averages 27.3 points per game, which is seventh in the league. They average 364.2 yards per game, which is sixth in the league. They average 0.447 points per play, which is sixth in the league. Their yards per play is at 6 yards per play, which is sixth in the league. Their third down conversion percentage is at 43.11%, which is fifth in the league. Their fourth down conversion percentage is 73.68%, which is second in the league. Their red zone percentage is great though. It's at 52%, which is 24th in the league. So that's something to look out for. The touchdown per game is at 3.1, which is fifth in the league. Their rushing statistics, they run the ball 46.90% of the time, which is eighth in the league. Their yards per rush is at 4.3, which is 17th in the league. Their rushes per game is 28.6, which is ninth in the league. Their rushes yards per game is at 122.4 rushes yards per game, which is 13th in the league. And they average 1.1 rush touchdowns per game, which is sixth in the league. They throw the ball 53.10% of the time, which is 25th in the league. Their completion percentage is at 70.80%, which is first in the league. Their yards per pass is at 8.7, which is first in the league as well. Their passes per game is at 29.4, which is 26th in the league. Their pass yards per game is at 241.8, which is sixth in the league. Their interception throwing percentage is at 1.70%, which is 11th in the league. And their QB sack percentage is at 9.4%, which is 27th in the league. So maybe we can get after them a little bit today.
Yeah, when it goes to their defense, opponent points per game is 19.7, which is sixth in the league. Opponent yards per game is 300.1, which is fifth. Opponent points per play is 0.344, which is 10th. Opponent yards per play is 5.2, which is 15th. Opponent third down conversion percentage is 37.50, which is 11th. Opponent fourth down conversion percentage is 34.78, which is third. Opponent red zone scoring touchdown percentage is 75. So we should have no problem scoring touchdowns on them once we get into the red zone. But you already know the Ravens are going to make it
Raven,
hard on
Raven,
themselves.
Ravens are a special breed of stupid, so they always find ways to, bend the curve when it comes to shit like this.
Yeah. And touchdowns per game is 2.4, which is 11th. Comes to the rushing defense, opponent rush play percentage is 40.52, which is eighth. Opponent yards per rush is 4.1, which is 12th. Opponent rushes per game is 23.2, which is third. Opponent rush yards per game is 95.1, which is fifth. Opponent rush touchdowns per game is zero point 0.5, which is two. When it comes to their passing defense, opponent pass play percentage is 58.49, which is 25th. Opponent completion percentage is 66.52, which is 24th. Opponent yards per pass is 6.8, which is 11th. Opponent passes per game is 32, which is 16th. Opponent pass yards per game is 205.1, which is 14th. Opponent interception thrown percentage is 1.79, which is 22nd. And sack percentage is 6.8, which is 23rd.
Right? We can get in individual player statistics now. Um, I guess the Patriots defense didn't really tell me they were that good. And what do you think?
I think they're actually pretty good. I mean, they allowed 19 points per game. So,
I mean, who
I
have they
mean,
played?
when it comes down to it,
But look how many
when it
points
comes
they've
down to
allowed to
it,
teams that like actually can score. Like, let's look real quick.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Let's just do a little research here. Like, they lost the Raiders. 33 or 27 to the Dolphins, only 14 to the 21 to the Patriots. But then the Panthers 13, they allowed 20 to Buffalo, like 13, 13, 13, 23, 23 versus allow like 23 points versus better teams. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Anyways, too bad the stats here. So I'm yapping. 35 last week, so to James Cook and the Bills, because that's the real MVP of that team. Drake May
Yeah.
here. Is 290 of 409, which is good for a 70.9 completion percentage, for 3,567 yards. That's 8.7 yards per throw. Excuse me. He has 23 touchdowns and 7 interceptions on the year. Travion Henderson is 143 carries for 773 yards. It's good for 5.4 yards per carry. He has 7 touchdowns in the year and he averages 55.2 yards per game. What's wrong with my voice? Ramondre Stevenson has 107 carries for 374 yards. That's good for 3.5 yards per carry. He has 3 touchdowns on the year and he averaged 34 yards per game. Receiving, their leading receiver is Stephon Diggs, the Maryland representative here. One of Cardi B's going to be at the game. He has 67 receptions. He has 67 receptions on 83 targets. That's good for 737 yards. Yeah, 731. He has 10.9 yards per catch. He has 3 touchdowns on the year, and he averages 52.2 yards per catch, or yards per game. Hunter Henry has 46 receptions on 72 targets. That's good for 628 yards. That's 13.7 yards per catch. He has 5 touchdowns on the year, and he averages 44.9 yards per game. Keishon Butte has 30 receptions on 39 targets for 511 yards. He averaged 17 yards per catch. He has 6 touchdowns on the year, and he has 42.6 yards per game. Averages 42. He should reminds me Rashad Bateman from last year, like a big play receiver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mac Hollins, your favorite receiver, has 39 receptions on 56 targets for 481 yards. That's good for 12.3 yards per catch. He has 2 touchdowns in the year, and he averages 34.4 yards per game. Last one I'm gonna read here is DeMario Douglas has 27 receptions on 39 targets for 402 yards. He averages 14.9 yards per catch. He has three touchdowns on the year, and he averaged 28.7 yards per game. So, pretty good offense. You can read off the defense here.
Yes, when it comes to their defense, Robert Spillane, a free agent acquisition this offseason, has 94 total tackles. Christian Ellis has 76. Craig Woodson has 70. Jalen Hawkins has 62. Jack Gibbons has 61. Marcus Jones has 60. Carlton Davis, another acquisition, has 56. Christian Gonzalez, one of the best young corners in the league, he has 54. Harold Landry has 48. Milton Williams, another free agent acquisition, has 27. Christian Barmore has 26. Jelani Tavai has 24. Caleb Von Chason has 22. And Marte Mapu has 21.
Mapu.
When it comes to sacks, Harold Landry has 8.5. Caleb Von Chason has 6.5. Milton Williams has 3.5. Wow. He
Milton.
got paid all that money just to have 3.5 sacks. Um, Elijah Ponder has 3. Jalen Hawkins has 1.5. And Robert Spillane, Jack Gibbons, Anthony Jennings, Marcus Jones, and Christian Barmore all have 1.
INTs.
Comes interceptions, Marcus Jones has 3. Robert Spillane has 2. Jalen
Amazing.
Hawkins has 2. Who was it?
Is it Robert Spillane's not even playing either, so that's good.
Oh yeah, oh that's a good thing. And Marte Mapu has 1.
All right. We can stop this real quick. We can get into now our predictions for the Ravens. We can get into breakout player, bold prediction, or bold prediction breakout. I always forget how we do it. I say bold prediction, breakout player, and then score prediction.
So bold prediction. I believe we sack Drake May 4 times in
That is
this
bold.
game. And breakout player, I'll say the breakout player is Draymond Green. I mean, no, Draymond Jones. Draymond Jones. I'll say Draymond Jones and Mike Green. I think as a pass rushing duo, they're going to get the job done.
All right.
And score prediction, I believe the Ravens will win this game. I would say the score is going to be 30-20.
Okay. My bold prediction is I think that the offense starts to look a little bit like themselves today. I think the breakout player, I think my breakout player, I'll say like, you know what? I'm gonna say Roquan Smith. He's a good day. I think he gets a pick. That's also a bold prediction
Okay.
too. And now
Okay.
my score prediction, it's under the lights at the bank. We're wearing our black uniforms with purple bottoms. We're favored. It's gonna be cold, young quarterback. And with all that being said, I think the Ravens lose. I think the
Come
Ravens
on,
lose
man.
17-27.
You builded it up, all those good things just to
It's
say
very
you
Ravens
lose.
disappoint tonight after having a good performance, and I think that they do. I'm not a believer in the Ravens yet.
Well, well, hopefully the Ravens can prove you wrong, bro.
They
Hopefully
proved
they
me
can
wrong
prove you
last week.
wrong.
That's all I want. If I'm proven wrong, I'm all good. But anyways, last week for the predictions, we both got the Ravens prediction wrong. You went 8-8 last week, and I went 9-7. So one game better.
Gotta improve that. Starting with that, I think the Titans are going to win this game. I don't think Gardner Minshew starting. If I was Kelsey and all them, I wouldn't even want to play. So I think the Titans are going to win. I low key think that could be a trap game, but I'm gonna go Bills.
Fuck the Bills.
I'm gonna go Dolphins.
Dolphs.
That's low key a good game. I never would thought I would say the Jaguars and Broncos is a good game.
Yeah, I thought you were
Um,
high 3 years ago.
I'm gonna go Jags.
Okay.
No,
The
Texans.
Raiders, what?
Obviously the Ravens, but we
Yeah.
got that. Cowboys.
This is the fucking ass game of the week.
I know, and it's crazy because Tyrod Taylor or Fields isn't even playing. I'll go Saints.
Isn't it Bo Cook?
Yeah, Brady
Brady.
Cook or whatever. Lions, Niners. Um, I'll go Giants. I'll go Panthers,
Pants.
and I'll go Cards.
All right, now it's my turn. I want to go Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, because two isn't starting. Broncos, um, Chargers, Saints, Lions, 49ers, Vikings, um, Bucks. Can't believe in the Panthers anymore. Um, Cardinals, Falcons. It's battle who wants to be more ass. I'll go Falcons. Anyways,
Okay,
that's our stuff.
that's our stuff. And that's towards end of this video. Also, I just want to say, it seems, prayers up to Jordan Love. He had a concussion yesterday, and because of that, he might not play against us when we play them next week. So we'll get more on that into that video. But I mean, hey, we're getting a little bit of good luck here, when it comes to these matchups moving forward. So hopefully that puts some more hope into you that this is a
What, that we beat
salvageable
a
year.
backup quarterback without Micah Parsons as well? What am I supposed to believe in?
All right, we'll come playoff time, we'll make you believe. But
Yeah,
we'll just
yeah,
leave
but
off
my,
this
my
field
stupid
there.
ass, we buying wild card tickets. I'll tell you that. And then, anyways,
We'll see, bro. We'll see. But we'll leave the video here. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below your bold prediction, breakout player, and score predictions. Also make sure to follow on so follow. I almost said subscribe. Follow our social medias. Subscribe to our channel. Follow our Instagram, our TikTok, and our Twitter. Follow our second channel, Casual Cinema. We just watched Five Nights at Freddy. It was a fun movie for both of us, so we might get that on there soon. Stay tuned. And if you're going to the Ravens game tonight, comment that down below. We'll see you there. Stay tuned for all the shorts. And that's all we got for you guys today. We're Birds of Prey Sports, and we're out.
one last thing before we do go. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but if we don't have a video out by then, hope everyone has a good Christmas. Hopefully, you get everything you want. Spend some time with family. Watch some. I mean, the games are kind of ass on on Thursday, so I don't know how much you're gonna be watching, enjoying those games. Maybe you're watching NBA games. Maybe those. I think those games are better. But like I said, hope everyone has a good Christmas.
Have a good Christmas.
And we're out.
Yeah.